All right, guys. Live on this Saturday morning. You guys are normally used to me coming on here and talking about sports, but I think I've hit my tipping point as of last night. Now, when I say I've hit my tipping point, Mets are done. They're watching the World Series now. And if you haven't realized already, this is not going to be a sports post or sports show, for lack of a better term. Last night, I turned on the television and all I saw was Kamala Harris all over the TV, yucking it up with all her friends. Beyonce. Name your favorite celebrity. I don't need the president or who's trying to become the future president yucking it up with all of her friends, all of the donors, all the people out there, both sides. Listen, I don't give a shit if you're Elon Musk. I don't give a shit if you're fucking Jay-Z and Beyonce because they're both polar opposites politically. But you know what they both have in common? They're both rich. Now, Eminem came on TV the other day or all over social media, and he's been a known Trump hater, which that doesn't bother me because you know Trump becoming the president is going to be better for the country than Kamala Harris and her agenda. But if you ask me if I like Trump, no, I don't like Trump. Trump's a douche. I mean, he's funny sometimes. He's probably a guy I'd like to hang out with and have a couple of beers. But for the president of the United States, you know why he's a better choice right now? Because he's tough. We're living in a world now where everybody gets a trophy. Now, I want to start off by saying that I am not a person, and I never will be a person that if you're voting opposite of how I feel or of how I'm voting, I'm still going to talk to you. Listen, I have friends out there. I have people in my life that going back for a couple of years. Some people out there get their feelings hurt way too much, especially when it comes politically. So at the end of the day, I got some people in my life that I vehemently disagree with politically, vehemently disagree with. Some we can have good conversations, and some we can't. My wife has a cousin, Rosemary, hysterical, she's great Italian woman, married to the love of her life, John Hennessy. Union guy his whole life. She is a Democrat, live and die, and she will fight the good fight. When something comes up on one of these social media outlets, we get our little digs on each other. We actually got into it a little while ago. And everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God. But you know what, though? We had a little spirited discussion online. It's like the second or third one we had. But at the end of the day, she has her views, she has her opinions, and I have mine. And at the end of the day, we're family. I'm still going to talk to her at the barbecues. I'm still going to talk to her when we see her for parties. I'm still going to talk to her via text because she's a Jets fan and I'm a Jets fan. A follower's a big Yankee fan, a follower's a Jets fan. Like this is stuff that people talk about. But you want to talk about politics? That's fine. We can talk about politics. We can have disagreements. But you know what, Ro, and I'm speaking directly to you. Love you, Ro. You have your opinions and you have your way of thinking. And that's fine. Because you know why? Because this is America. Now, other people, on the other hand, now I have a bunch of friends that I guess, I don't know, maybe I used to call them my friends, but I had a bunch of people kind of just walk out of my life. I had one friend in particular that I knew for a really long time. And she, and I won't mention her name, but I'll say she, I made a post on Facebook not too long ago about how the migrants are ruining New York City and how I see them up here now and they're setting up tents. And, I don't want them here. If you're here illegally and you're not doing anything productive for this country, I don't want you here. Now that's not a bad thing to say. That's not a racist thing to say. That's a thing that we have enough problems in this country. We have enough problems with homeless, drug addicts, murderers. We have people in our own country that we need to take care of. good or bad. We don't need this influx of people that are sucking our country dry. They're sucking us dry. And there's one side that's allowing it. And there's another side that says, whoa, 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 wait a second. Now, I don't care how you feel about your personal issues. They could be put on the table. But I just did a TikTok video a little while ago, and I'm going to wait for the comments. We need to vote for safety. Loud and clear, guys. We need to vote for safety. Okay? Whether this guy's mean, whether he's the big orange man, fuck that. We need to vote for safety right now, America. And at the end of the day, I don't want to hear about transgender issues right now. I don't want to hear about the migrants right now getting money or getting debit cards or whatever the fuck is going on in this country right now. I don't want to hear any of that shit because last night was the tipping point. Okay. When I say it was the tipping point, I mean, I turn on the news. It doesn't matter what news outlet I'm watching right now, guys, because it's all the same. Israel just bombed the shit out of Iran. I'm going to say that again. Israel just bombed the shit out of Iran. Now, we put sanctions on Iran. No more nuclear weapons. No more this, no more that. They don't give a fuck. They're fighting the fight too. Okay? Israel, Netanyahu, never backing down, never wavering, basically saying, we are going to finish this fight. I don't care who gets in the way. Now, us bleeding heart liberal Americans are like, oh, you're a bad guy. You're killing kids and you're killing families. Listen, it's war, guys. War. If we see a war on this soil, it's because of the fact that millions of people were led into this country undocumented and illegally. Russia and China are not going to come storming onto our shores. They're not going to storm the beaches of Jones Beach. But you know what? There are people here right now that don't like us. There are people in this country right now that hate us for the way we used to live. I'm going to say that the way we used to live because it used to be a country where we could have a political conversation at the dinner table and not completely not talk to anybody for the rest of our lives. I got two friends in particular that are definitely butthurt for the way I feel. I still consider, no matter how their crazy ways of thinking, and I'm not going to mention their names. I mentioned our cousin Ro because she has a brain in her head. She has her view. She hears me say my crazy shit. I hear her say her crazy shit. But you know what? We're still human beings who have different opinions. These two people blocked me out of their life because of my political views. Maybe I did something to them. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the easiest person to get along with. I don't call people back here and there, but I'm calling two of you people out right now. You guys stopped talking to me because of my fucking political views. And that's not going to change. Okay? And the way that two of my friends that were friends for a really long time turned their tails because they assumed at the time I was voting for Donald Trump. I am right now. But even at that time, if you guys out there, my two ex-friends and everybody out there included, thinks that this country is being run good right now and thinks that Kamala Harris is going to be your best choice for the president when we've watched 3.5 years of shit. Our country is turning to shit on a daily basis. Okay? And we're not allowed to say anything. Or if we do say something, we're bullies. Or I can't believe you're voting for Trump. This, that. You know what? We need Trump right now. We need a guy to look at Russia and look at China. Listen, he might have a hidden agenda somewhere else, but he wears that agenda on his sleeve right now, and it's to protect the United States. We're giving millions and millions and billions of dollars away to other countries when we have Americans in our country that need our help the most. I don't give a shit about the Ukraine. I give a shit about Palestine. I don't give a shit about Iran, Iraq. It doesn't pick your country, that Lebanon, Egypt, Africa. I don't give a shit, and I'm going to say it again. America, stop giving our fucking money away. Stop. Let's stop. Let's start building shit here. Let's start selling shit here. And let's start circulating our money in this goddamn country. Let's stop giving it away. I'm watching right now on television or listening on social media talk about how when she gets in, vote for, kindness, vote against hate. Fuck that. We are in a lot of trouble right now. And we're in a position where we can't be Mr. Nice Guys. If I got to hear that we gave another billion to the Ukraine, or we gave this money to Lebanon, or these poor people there, who cares? It's geography. They were born there. Fucking stay there right now. If you have an agenda to come to this country and fuck our shit up, even if it's 5% of you, and I know Trump goes crazy about how we're letting gang members in and drug dealers in. Oh, and the other side's go, what about the people that really need asylum here? Fuck that, because you know what, though? In that group are people that want to hurt us. That's it. That is the bottom line of what's going on right now. Now, I'm standing here. I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Do I want to vote for him? No, because you've heard me say in the past, America is being forced to vote for Donald Trump right now because the other side is not working. Now, she's out there last night trying to get elected, okay? There's bombs flying all over the place. Trump's trying to get elected. So he's on Rogan yesterday. He's doing all the, the rounds and, talking shit, saying, where is she? Where is she? And then all she turns around and says, well, what Donald Trump is doing. Well, did you see what Donald Trump is doing? Who fucking cares? I want to hear what you're doing. I want to hear what you are going to do to keep me safe at night. I want to know what you're going to do to keep this country safe at night. I want to know that my children are going to be okay. My grandchildren are going to be okay. You're not telling me that. You're telling me that I have to tell my kids and my grandchildren that we have to take care of everybody else first. That's what you're telling me. Don't stand up and say that abortion rights are one of the main things right now that we're fighting for. If I can see Tim Walz up there, he may as well chop his dick off too. If I got to hear that that's the main sticking point, what's going on right now is our ability to states tell you to have an abortion or not. Let's go one way or the other, guys. A, nobody's getting an abortion at 9 months. That's murder. And B, they're not trying to stop abortion completely. That's why there's checks and balances, everybody. So liberals, shut the fuck up when you say that we're trying to kill babies at 9 months, because yes, that's murder, okay? And on the other side, shut the fuck up about the fact that we want to get rid of it, that they want to get rid of it completely, because they don't. It wouldn't be fair. People get raped in this country. There's fucked up shit going on. There's molestations. There's all sorts of shit that happens. And these women have a right to do that to their body or whatever they want. But they're not murdering kids at 9 months. That's murder. Let's get together. Let's be bipartisan. And let's say, you know what? 2 months is a good deal. But no, your extremes, one way or the other, have to put their fucking 2 cents in and say, whoa, wait a second. There's wars going on. There's money being thrown out of this country on a daily basis, okay? There's a huge section of this country that's being fucked. And it's the middle class. And the middle class isn't even the middle class anymore. The middle class is the lower class. Because every time the country needs something, they take from us. They up our taxes. If you're rich, you don't care about it. And if you're poor, you get everything. I'm fucking tired of it. Okay? Everybody talks about January 6th. Okay? Whatever that was, whether it was made up, whether it was or not, it doesn't matter. How about 150 million people show up on the front stoop of the White House? Doesn't matter who is there. I'm not saying to destroy it. I'm not saying to light it on fire. I'm just saying stand in front of the fucking building and say, I'm not a Republican that's pissed off. I'm not a Democrat that's pissed off. I'm a fucking American that's very angry about what's going on right now. And stop taking from us. Because, again, I'm going to bring Eminem up again, because now it's hitting a little close to home when I hear that, because, Eminem's out there, stumping for Kamala Harris, talking about Obama, how what a great guy he was, and President Obama. It doesn't matter how you feel about that. And Eminem, I'm still buying your music, and I'm still listening to your music. That doesn't sway me, because entertainers are entertainers. Yeah, they have a big voice, but if you're stupid enough to listen to an entertainer, a sports figure, or somebody else that has a lot of money and a lot more money than you and a lot less to lose than you, then you're not a free thinker. You're not somebody that says, wait a second here. Why are these people telling me who to vote for? Hey, Eminem says he's a bad guy, so I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. Shut the fuck up and have your own views, your own thoughts. This is what drives me crazy right now about what's going on in this country. Nobody has a thought of their own in their head. They get told what to do by both sides. Both sides. It's embarrassing that we don't have a proper political figure to run this country. It's embarrassing that an actual politician can't even put his name on the ballot. It's an actual bullshit travesty that if somebody wants to run for president and the machine doesn't want you to, they make laws so it can't happen. So now we're voting for narratives. We're not voting for politicians. We're voting for fucking narratives. Now, yes, I'm voting for Donald Trump, but a lot of baggage comes with that. Okay? Do I want religion to come in and take over us? No. No. I have a lot of people in my life that are very religious. They seek God every day. They seek the help of God. Okay? Well, listen. God's not as what's the word I'm looking for? God is, how do we know what's there? How do we know if God is even there? We don't. You could sit there and pray. You could sit there and talk about it. You could sit there and go to church. Okay. But at the end of the day, that's crazy shit going on in the church too. Okay. So if you want to vote for that extreme right conservative agenda where they're trying to inject religion into your life on a daily basis, that's one of the setbacks I may have to go up against by voting for Trump. But I think Trump surrounds himself with people from that area of the country because he needs the votes. I don't think Trump has a super duper religious conservative bone in his body. You know how many abortions Donald Trump has probably been a part of? Now he has to jump on a party that says no more abortion. Now let's go to the other left. Okay. I kind of pride myself on thinking of somebody like, you know what? I'm a capitalist. But you know what though? I don't care if gays get married. I think everybody should be pro-choice and leave women alone. Let them do whatever the fuck they want to do. A woman shouldn't have to run from Ohio 3 states away, and maybe get arrested because she got raped or, her grandfather or her father molested her. So now she's pregnant. So now what's she do? She leaves Ohio with threat of getting arrested or carry a baby that was given to you by your fucking father or by a fucking rapist. Now, that's extremes, right? Because I don't think any of that shit's going to happen. But what the stuff that I think is going to happen is people have to start smartening up and realize that we need to hear about policy. And everybody feels bad for all these people that want to come to this country. Okay? Do it the right fucking way. Don't sneak in. Okay? Because the people in this country that did it the right way, that's a huge group in this country that have done it the right way. They should be standing up. Okay? They should absolutely be standing up. And I don't know if this is true or not. I should do the research on it, but did Gavin Newsom say a couple of weeks ago that you don't even have to show your identification for when you vote? Now, if you're listening to this rant right now, please tell me that's not true. Because if you do not walk into a voting booth with a proper form of identification, you walk out the goddamn door. Turn around. If you need to be escorted, be escorted. Because if you don't have a legitimate identification, stay the fuck out of the voting booth. That's it. I don't want to hear anybody's writing their name on a piece of paper and throwing it in the mailbox. Don't think I'm just saying it's on one side, because it's probably on both sides too. Because whoever wins this election is going to claim that it was fixed. Okay? That doesn't matter. We're not going to know who the president is probably until January 20th. So the point I'm making is if you walk into any one of these schools or churches or wherever your local municipality is having the voting booths open up and you can't show a form of identification to vote for the president, get the hell out of the building. Because if California is right and not asking for identification, what's the deal? What's the deal? And if you don't have a license for some reason and it was taken away, or if you don't have a social security card because you can't find it, then you know what, though? You miss out. I know everybody in this country, it's your American right to vote. It's also your right to be here legally. And when I mean legally, I mean have a fucking green card, have a driver's license, or a social security number that says, I was born here. This is my right. And this is my right as an American to vote for the president of the United States. Okay. George Washington became president. What happened? We raised our hand. Okay. We raised our hand. Why are these states so important? Why is Ohio so much more important than, let's just say, North Dakota? Why is Iowa more important than, let's say, Alabama? Because of numbers? How about we raise our hand and we vote? We say, okay, there's 165 million people registered to vote in this country. Okay. If more than 165 million registered votes come through, there's something fishy. If less, you just know that people don't want to vote. Or there are actually people there that say they don't want to vote. That's your own thing. But don't get up there and walk into that voting booth knowing you're here and knowing that somebody told you that you're going to get all this free shit if you just pull that lever. Don't do it. I know the voting booths have opened up early, and I understand that it's not 1980 anymore, where people only wait a little while to vote. I know it's a long, arduous process now, but you got to do it. You can't write in a vote. You can't text in a vote. You can't. You have to go in there, show some sort of identification to the person, and walk into that booth and pull that lever. And if you can't, get out of the voting booth. Enough. Barack Obama, who I think is a great speaker, who I thought, I guess maybe was probably one of the last presidential presidents because he could speak. He is telling black men to vote for Kamala Harris because they owe it to her. Think about that for a second. Barack Obama is telling you, as a black man, that you need to vote for Kamala Harris because, as black men, you owe it to black women. He said that the other day. Now, that's words from a politician that could reverberate. Okay, he's a politician. Eminem coming out and introducing him and talking about, we all know that Eminem can't stand Trump, and that's fine. But don't choose who you're going to vote for because some celebrity tells you to. And I'm going to stress this, and I can't stress this enough. Okay. Whenever I come out with one of these rants, everybody wants to put me into this, you hate Kamala or you hate Biden. You're a Trumpster. I'm not a Trumpster, guys. I'm voting for safety. And if we have to deal with a couple of, things he says here and there, now, guys out there, men, let's be honest. All right. Be honest with me when I ask you this question. When you're sitting around with your buddies, we all talk like Trump, right? We all make jokes. But you know what, though? Maybe Trump should go about it a different way. Maybe he should, say stuff a little, I don't know. Maybe he may want to candy coat some stuff a little more. I don't know. But you instantaneously look at him as a bully and you don't hear what he's saying. What he's saying is true. It's the way he's saying it, because at this day and age, people get their feelings hurt. Fuck your feelings right now. Okay. If you're a dad talking to your kids, don't tell them who to vote for, but tell them what this vote is all about. I have a son right now that's 19. He's voting in his first presidential election. I can tell you who he's voting for. I can tell you right now, he has a smart opinion, and it's his, not mine. Well, it is kind of the way I think, but I didn't influence it in any way. He's kind of tired of it too, and he's 19. I got a 17-year-old son that's going to be voting soon. Okay. And the both of them know what's going on in this world, and they see what's going on in this world. They don't want it. I don't want it. And my wife, if one of her friends tells her that as a woman she needs to vote for Kamala Harris, I think she might lose her shit. And if anybody out there listening to this podcast knows my wife, she's a maniac. And she's voting for Trump. She loves Donald Trump, and she's been like that for a long time, and she fights the good fight. And she knows what she's talking about, and she knows what she wants. So women out there, don't vote for Kamala Harris because she's a woman. Don't. Open up your brains, open your minds, open your soul. Look at what's going on right now. Am I saying he's the right choice? No. Am I saying that Kennedy was probably the best choice? Yes. A Kennedy Tulsi Gabbard ticket would probably fix a lot of the problems with bipartisanship, and would probably fix the problems of people not thinking that there's a politician in office. So we have to stand behind these two. It's embarrassing. Netanyahu right now is looking at us going, that's your choice. Because he's fighting the fight over there right now. People are telling him, you're killing babies, you're killing families. He says, I don't care. My country is in trouble. They've been fighting that fight for thousands of years, guys. Thousands of years. And we're injecting ourselves into it, of course. We have to protect Israel. We have to go about it maybe differently, but Ukraine is very far away. Russia is very far away. Russia wants Kamala Harris to become the president. Now, can you picture a summit with President Super Bowl 11, who I call him, from China, and Vladimir Putin, and name your other maniac leader, sitting in a room with Kamala Harris? Now, before you guys go all over me saying she's a woman, is that why? No, that's not why. Because she wouldn't know what the fuck to say. And the minute she sat down with one of those guys, Putin would whisper in her ear, pull that earring out of her ear, throw it on the table, and say, now what do you have to say? You're the president of the United States. Your people voted for you. Now it's on. There's nobody to look at. There's nobody to talk to. Were you briefed? You probably don't remember. The point I'm making is, I'll use Tulsi Gabbard as an example. Tulsi Gabbard will walk into that room and be presidential, be political. I can't believe I'm even saying this, but Hillary Clinton, who I can't stand, she's political. She'd be able to talk to those guys. But Kamala Harris cannot do that. Watch these videos of Kamala back in the day going to all these events, all these rappers and all, holding hands with Montel Williams back in the day. I like Montel Williams. He was one of the first people to actually be very outspoken about weed. But this is who Kamala Harris is. Now, if you don't think this is some kind of plant job, that I think that they instituted a little bit too early, because I think what the Democratic Party thought was they have to put her up there as some kind of symbol, and maybe she'll wait it out, and maybe they won't catch on to how stupid she really is, but it's happening. Her stupidity is shining through. Her dumb comments, her lack of being able to communicate. Now, I put a video out the other day, and I put a video of Kamala Harris, and I put a video of Bill Clinton. Yeah, it was a method behind my madness there. I put the video up of Bill Clinton because Bill Clinton's, he's a Democrat. And I put it up against some talking points that our beloved Kamala Harris has. The point I was making in that video wasn't to degrade Kamala Harris. The point I was making was, agree with Bill Clinton all you want, or disagree with him all you want from back then, whether you voted for him or you didn't vote for him. You could say, oh, he had Osama bin Laden in his sights, or he fucked, what's her name, in the Oval Office. That's right, Democrat, got a blowjob in the Oval Office from a fat girl. Donald Trump banged an porn star. These are men in power, guys. Doesn't matter what walk of life you're from. There are guys out there that are pieces of shit and take advantage of women. And unfortunately, guys, there's Republicans that do it, and there's Democrats. So Bill Clinton's speech on how the migrants are eventually going to invade our country and they should all be deported instantly and how it's going to become a problem in comparison with Kamala Harris saying, don't call them criminals or don't call them this or backing up their right and saying you can't call them this or you can't. It's free speech, Kamala. You're trying to become the president. Free speech is being taken away on a daily basis, and you're the number one culprit. Not you, or maybe you, but your narrative is taking away our freedom of speech on a daily basis. You can't say that. You can't say this. Fuck that. It's America. You could say whatever the hell you want. But with that comes some consequences. Yes, you can say whatever you want. But you know what, though? That doesn't stop somebody like me or anybody on the street to call you on that narrative, to speak to you on that narrative, to tell you, I'm an opinion guy and I know everything's opinions. But don't look at me and tell me the way it is because I don't see it that way. Okay? Back to the celebrities for a second. Okay? Listen to their music, watch them play sports, watch them act in their movies. Michael Keaton, you may as well be another guy that just chopped your dick off and gave your man card in and turned it into somebody. Because when you said the other night that Elon Musk and those guys are not your bros, you look like an old, fragile lady saying that. How about you shut the fuck up? You know, you don't even have to shut the fuck up. It's America. I just talked about free speech. But do you really feel that way, dude? You really feel like that? Now, another one. Michael Keaton, you're rich. Spike Lee, you're rich. DL Hughley, you got money. Stop telling people to vote because of this. And people, open up your mouths and use your ability of free speech. And don't speak like a maniac. Speak like somebody that knows what they're talking about. Because I get involved in some conversations sometimes, and it gets me so crazy because I literally don't think people have their own thought in their head. And it's boiling down to 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. Everybody seems to be so nonchalant about what's going on right now. There's going to be big, big problems on election day. And if anybody thinks it's going to be a one side or another big problems, it's going to be problems all over because people are mad. And when their person doesn't get in, there's going to be even more anger. Yes, there's freedom of speech, but there's no freedom of violence. Violence is not the answer, guys. But I'm telling you right now, depending on who does get in, well, actually, it is going to be on both sides. It's going to be violence in your face on one side, and it's going to be sneaky violence on the other side. Okay? America, have your own thoughts, have your own opinions, take it into the booth and vote. You have to vote. It's critical. And don't vote because somebody said I should vote for this person. Okay? And before I end this, bring your goddamn identification to the voting booth. And if you don't have one, you can't vote. I don't want to see big fat guys stuffing mailboxes with envelopes. I don't want to see late night rendezvous at the post office. I don't want to see it. I want to see you show up to the booth, show your identification, whether it be a driver's license, a non-driver's license, whatever your identification that you use to show that you're a citizen of the United States of America. You show that, and if it matches up, you can pull the lever. If not, leave. If you got your license taken away for some reason, then you can't vote. I had my license taken away. Sucks. I've lost identification in my life. It sucks. Get a new one because you're obviously on file. Get your identification right and vote. That is where it's going to be at the end of this election. Get your identification right. Get the numbers right. And again, I don't want to see big fat guys that have been drinking Coke all day and eating tacos, stuffing envelopes into a mailbox in some small town in New Mexico, or sneaking off in the middle of the night someplace in South Dakota or Pennsylvania where there's nobody. And somebody happens to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning watching people stuff in envelopes. It's not right. This is America. Get it right. We have to vote for safety. Now, this rant went on a little bit longer than I thought it would be. I'm going to put it out as a podcast and just tell me what you think. Because the point I was trying to make, 2 friends of mine walked away from me because stuff I post on Facebook. Then on the other hand, I have 2 other friends, and I'm going to mention his name. I'm going to mention Danny Roman, and I'm going to mention Rosemary Hennessy. Rosemary is my cousin through marriage of my wife, and Danny Roman is somebody that I know my entire life. I met him when I was 5 years old. We disagree vehemently about politics. We get into discussions on Facebook and we talk about it, but at the end of the day, he realizes that everybody's got an opinion. If I disagree with him, we'll send each other a little joking remark at the end of our Facebook, fight, if you could call it. And same with my cousin Ro. She's amazing. She's funny. She has a different view than I do. Do I agree with her? No. But am I going to shoot a text to her after we get into a big, huge Facebook fight about Trump and Kamala Harris? And everybody thinks that the entire world's going to blow up and Ro and Richie are fighting. So those are 2 people that don't really shut up and it's going to destroy everything. And Ro's not going to want to talk to us. And no, you know why? Because at the end of the day, I might not agree with her political views, but she's smart. She realizes that we're all humans. So Ro, Danny, I appreciate your family and friendship through the years and realizing that you may think I'm crazy and I may think you're crazy. But my other 2 friends out there that maybe they think that maybe I didn't call them enough for something, or I don't know what it was, but one definitely, and a second one, I have a tricky suspicion they don't like the way I think. And one person said, she's never talking to me again. I am done. Well, you know what? I'm not going to say your name, but be done. Because if you were to call me and have a conversation about our political views, you would realize that, yeah, I'm still Richie Murphy, but I just have a different view than you. Stop getting your dicks and your pussies hurt, okay? And realize that there's other opinions. And if you're an actor or an actress or a sports figure or an entertainer, if you have an agenda, that's fine because you're rich. Don't start telling people that you have to. Because there's people in this country that need somebody to tell them that because they don't know how to think on their own. So the whole moral to this rant right now is vote with your brain. Vote with your heart. Don't vote because somebody told you how to vote. Don't vote because Eminem told you how to vote. Don't vote because Elon Musk told you how to vote. Vote because America's in trouble and we have to vote for safety. Now, I'm reluctantly going to be voting for Donald Trump next week. I'll say reluctantly because I wish there was a different person up there representing our country. And the person I wanted up there representing our country, they locked him out. They said, nope, sorry, Kennedy, you can't be in the presidential race because you're too smart. At the end of the day, you're too smart. We want to watch these 2 go at it. But Donald Trump is the right choice here, guys. And if you don't think so, you got an agenda. So Keep Talking 365 has put their stamp on Donald Trump being the next president. I won't say the Murph and E-Dubs show because E-Dubs does not like to get into politics and he won't even tell me who he's voting for. But Keep Talking 365, I'm putting my stamp on Donald Trump this year. And I'll be listening to the rest of that Rogan interview today. And I guarantee there's going to be a lot of good information. So keep your eyes open and your hearts open. And if anybody tells you it's detrimental that you vote one way or the other, tell them, listen, I appreciate the advice, but this is what I'm doing. Because you know why? This is America. We have free speech. One side uses it to its fullest extent, and the other side says, no, you can't say that. I'm voting for the side that uses their freedom of speech to the fullest extent. So that's Donald Trump in 2024. This House will be voting for him. And if something fishy happens with one side or the other, We'll let those chips fall as they may. But you know what? Donald Trump, 2024. Can't believe I'm saying that. It's almost like saying, let's go Yankees. Anyway, keep talking 365. Like I said, all over this election. Next couple of days, I'll be trying to get some people on to talk about it. We got some local politicians in this area that I've reached out to that I haven't reached out back to, but I would like to interview a couple of these people from our local town municipalities that are running as well. So, all right, keep talking 365. That's why it's called that. Let's keep talking. Who's going to be our next president? We shall see.